What's going on, everybody? We're live on a Wednesday. Welcome to Breaking Bet. I got my guy Brad Thomas here with me. I made a deep, dark confession to Brad off air very briefly, and I guess I'm going to share it with you guys. Just the disgusting creature that I am at 9 o'clock Eastern time on a Wednesday. Re-downloaded DoorDash and got McDonald's. Just absolutely disgusting behavior on my part. I'm sick at myself. I can't even look at myself in the mirror anymore. I can't. But Brad, maybe you can cheer me up here. We're talking 2025 NFL team future previews. It's going to be a big show. I know you got a couple fantasy drafts going on right now.
So I do.
Fit me in here. Taking some time.
Yeah, dude. It's been, it's that time of year, right, where fantasy drafts are just rolling in, doing a couple at the same time right now. But we got some time to my pick. We're actually finishing one up. Like, we're in the last 3 rounds, which is really great timing.
Yeah. So, Brad, last week we talked about more player futures, awards. I think we had a really good show. I actually wrote up my RotoWire article. Should be published in the next couple days, working on my team futures. Really touched on a lot of the stuff that we talked about, kind of gave the same breakdowns and handicaps and the way I'm going about it. It's strange because handicapping the awards and player futures is totally different at times than handicapping team futures and where you see the success throughout the year. So before we start really getting into the numbers, what are you looking at ahead of the 2025 season from a team perspective?
Yeah, so really what I like to do, the first place I stop, and it's like probably what a lot of people do, but I go look at strength of schedule, right? But I also like to project like my own thought process on it, because sometimes when you just go with the basis strength of schedule of last year's record, that is kind of like an empty stat, because you think about teams like the Titans. Yes, the Titans had a terrible record, but the Titans are certainly going to get better. The Panthers, they're certainly going to get better. So how much do I weight the strength of schedule based on over under 500 versus what just the base number is? And then from there, I just kind of look at teams that have had changes, teams that are getting older, teams that are getting younger, and I go from there. It's going to be a fun season. I think the most damage that I do is probably in season when it comes to divisions, but I know one thing. I know one thing's for certain. Every year I try to find an excuse to fade the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the NFC South, and every year it feels like they win the NFC South.
Brother, we're Tampa guys. Why are you?
I know.
We're Tampa guys. Come on. It's not even like they've been bad at any point in the last few years.
No.
It's just, and we're Tampa guy. Come on, man. We are 8-1-3 all the way through. I mean, that's my second home. I'm North Jersey.
I love it, man. It's just, I think it might be this pessimism, right? Like, I'm a little pessimistic every year, but somehow we get the job done.
For me, I mean, echoing some of that same sentiment here, you had some teams that were head and shoulders above the field last year. Which one of those teams maybe regresses to the mean enough to where they could even miss the playoffs? On the other side of the same coin, what teams that were awful last year maybe close that gap a little bit and, kind of balance out the field here? I mean, we talked about it last week where Tennessee Titans, 3-win team last year. I love Cam Ward. I think he's going to be able to do a lot of great things and ultimately turn Tennessee from a 3-win team to possibly a 10-win team, maybe win the division. Those are the kind of turnarounds we're talking about. And then maybe like a Detroit Lions who won 15 games last year. Does regression hit to where they go from 15 wins to 10 wins or 11 wins? Maybe a team like Chicago goes from 5 wins to 11 wins and has a shot to win the NFC North with Ben Johnson coming in here. So a lot of those kind of questions and a lot of those situations to keep your eye out on. And that's why we're on this podcast tonight. That's why we're talking about all this good stuff here for the NFL.
Yeah, this is like a good time to do it too, because I think we're getting we're 2 weeks away, as opposed to, I know a lot of people like to bet when the openers come out and they have their own strategy. But for me, I need to see how camp's been going. I need to see the talk of the town. I need to see what injuries, what trades. We've had a ton of trades. We just had roster cut down day. Like, a lot has happened where I think we have a good kind of basis of what these teams are going to look like and what challenges they're going to face this season.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. Without further ado, let's get into divisions. We're going to start with the AFC. The Buffalo Bills are a large -270 favorite. Patriots 550, Dolphins 750, Jets 17-1. Last week, I did all DraftKings odds. Decided to show a little love here to FanDuel. So every odd you see is via FanDuel. And of course, you're able to get that all in one place. My team over at RotoWire has a tremendous odds board with all the major books, all the different prices, comparing in one stop, so you don't have to go check out a bunch of different books, because that is a huge pain in the ass. Brad, is Buffalo going to run away with this division again?
Dude, yeah, I think they run away from this division because every team has major question marks. It's kind of funny to think that the team who has the youngest quarterback in the division is second favorite, right? They bring in variable in the Patriots. And then we look at the Miami Dolphins, where this might be McDaniel's last year if we're being realistic. And then the Jets, led by Justin Fields, they're probably going to be better. But just from the standpoint of the team being deep enough, being led by a serious, really strong MVP leader, you have to go with the Buffalo Bills. And I think, honestly, at -260, it's a little short, right? I think the books are a little protective, where they don't want to make this number where it's like -350 and something happens to Josh Allen and Josh Allen's out. And then, people who kind of just played the numbers are racking up, but I think they run away with it.
Yeah, I tend to agree, dude. I just, if Josh Allen stays healthy, I don't see how they don't win at least 11 games, bare minimum here. New England's going to be interesting. I think, here's the difficult part, right? You get a team that you think is got a shot to be really competitive, maybe even good.
Yep.
And you kind of fall into that trap. It's like, all right, like I could see if everything clicked, this might happen. And that could be like New England, 10 wins. Drake May take a big step. Mike Vrabel is going to have a big year here.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs coming in, Travion Henderson coming in. Defense should be a little bit healthier this year. Like, all that stuff kind of weighs in. It's like, well, maybe New England could threaten. When in all actuality, hey, they're going to be competitive. They might win 7 or 8 games, but they could hold their own in a lot of these matchups where they're on paper overmatched.
Yep.
But I think this is Buffalo, man. I mean, I'm not betting it. Like maybe if you want to throw it in a parlay, sure, fine. But like, I'm still not betting 270. There's going to be other ways to get involved in Buffalo throughout the year. And I think they would probably be one of the better teams against the spread this year as well. All right, Brad, AFC North, Ravens -160, Bengals 250, Steelers 550, Browns 35-1. Baltimore or Cincinnati, do you think Cincinnati is going to get better on defense and be able to get back on top in their own division?
I don't think the Bengals improved defensively, but I just think, like, with this tandem of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, they already have like all of the puzzle pieces to be an elite offense, right? They are an elite offense. T. Higgins. Now they add in Chase Brown, who, took that step, as you might say, last season. Now he's going to be the legit number one and going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're going to have to get the job done where they just outscore everybody, right? My problem is, that's good for the entire season. Now, in terms of them winning a Super Bowl, I don't think that's going to happen. But at +250, if they can just improve their defense by an iota and they continue to outscore everyone, I think it's worth the stab, especially with a team in the Baltimore Ravens that are reliant on a mobile quarterback, a quarterback who's taking hits, a quarterback who's putting himself in danger. I think it's worth the stab at the +250. I'm really high on the Bengals skill position players this year. I'm really high on Trey Hendrickson. We just need that defense to step up a little bit, and I think the price is right.
All right, so when you're looking at team futures and awards, the schedule is very important and how it stacks up. So if you're Baltimore, they have a tough go of it early, right?
Mm-hmm.
So part of me wants to take a look at different ways to play this, and this is what I'm referring to. You look at Baltimore's schedule. Week 1, Sunday night, they're in Buffalo. Great game. Come home to play Cleveland. Home against Detroit. At Kansas City. Home to Houston. Home to LA. Going into the bye. Reasonably, they could lose at Buffalo. They can lose home to Detroit. They can lose at Kansas City. Houston, I think they're gonna smack. I don't think Houston's gonna be able to match up with them. LA, it really depends on Matthew Stafford's health. I think that the health of Matthew Stafford can completely ruin a game plan for a defense. But reasonably, that could be, let's say in the first 6 games, that could be 3 losses. And those are 2 losses to teams that are going to threaten them for the number 1 seed in the AFC in Kansas City and Buffalo. Very reasonably, that could happen because they're also both on the road. Schedule opens up a little bit. It's a lot easier. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see Baltimore 3-3 after 6 weeks. But you look at Cincinnati, right? And this is where it gets interesting. And this is where it's almost maybe worth it to take an early bite on the Bengals and then maybe try and see what it looks like with Baltimore a little later in the season, because this is insane. So Cincinnati, after their bye, they go to week 10 bye. Week 11, they go to Pittsburgh. Then they come home, play New England. Like those aren't gimmies. Those could be tough games, but I would expect Cincinnati to probably win them both. Thanksgiving night at Baltimore, at Buffalo, come home to play Baltimore. So
that's going to decide the division right there, in my opinion.
Well, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Like, part of me is thinking to myself, do I even want to get involved until right before week 13? Because like at that point, we could be looking at Cincinnati having, I don't know, 5 wins, 6 wins going into week or after 12 games. Or I'm sorry, probably like 7 wins, maybe, right? Let's say that's 7-5 after 12 weeks. That's realistic. It's realistic. And Baltimore's maybe around the same. And then by that point, you're looking at some numbers that are, basically deciding the division with 2 times within 3 weeks. So I almost want to just wait to get involved. But ultimately, like if I'm picking a winner, I think it's going to be Baltimore because I just think they're honestly better.
They are better on both sides of the ball. And when I say on both sides of the ball better, I mean like you can trust the consistency of the Baltimore offensive line. If the Bengals are having a tough offensive line day, that's just kind of scary. But I just think the upside of this Bengals team at that price is much better.
The truth is this. Cincinnati's most likely going to have to be pushing 30 a week to win.
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore
28.5 is probably like their target.
Like Baltimore's not going to have to be doing that on a week-to-week basis, in large throughout the course of the season. They're going to have those games. They can score maybe 20 and win because they're going to have some playmakers on defense. They're going to be able to get it done. I think the Ravens minus 160 is not bad. Ultimately, though, I wouldn't be betting it now because, like I said, they could realistically start out 3-3, and Cincinnati's got something that looks like they might be able to start out hot, and maybe if, say, after like 5 or 6 weeks, the Bengals are up in the division, and then the Ravens are plus money.
And
then it kind of opens up for them in the second half, and if they have the advantage against Cincinnati matchup wise. That's where I'd probably be betting it. Just a more complete football team.
Yeah, and like that's the advantage you have with in season division bettors. Like you can map it out with your schedule, much like when people do with Survivor, right? Like they know who they're going to use because it's mapped out.
Yeah. Brad, talk to me here about the AFC South. The Texans plus 110, Jags 270, Colts 350, Titans 7-1.
Man, I was trying to find a way to find value in the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? I was like, man, Liam Cohen comes in, they're going to be better offensively, but there's a lot of holes that this Jaguars team have to fill, more holes than just bringing in a great offensive coordinator, more holes than just bringing in Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name and I'm looking right at him. Out of Colorado. I cannot believe he just won me the Heisman, whatever. I'm distracted, obviously, but like they have holes on their offensive line, right? Their secondary could be better. The Texans, though, kind of underwhelmed last year. They won the division while not really winning the division. And what I mean by that is I feel like the Texans won the division by the other teams just being poor, right? They didn't have legitimate competition. Okay, I have the last pick right here. I'm gonna make up my pick real quick and I'll get back on my soapbox. All right, cool. I'm back. All right. And the Texans didn't really I thought they'd be a much more complete team, but at plus 110, I can't find an actual value in anybody else. I think the Texans win the AFC South. They have to take a step better forward. Their offensive line has to improve. I think it will. Will Anderson has to be more healthy. So we'll see. Or
My guy
healthier.
Dilly Daggers. I'm going to be setting up the NFL subscription page. Don't you worry. Tweets will be going out. Sorry, I've been a little slow with getting it up. I should have been doing it a few weeks ago. But Brad, I understand. Like, listen, Texans plus money. They got their quarterback. I think Stroud's going to have a much better year. I think it's going to click more for Houston. But I got to be honest, dude. Like, no part of me, do they not want to take Tennessee plus 700? Like, the AFC is wide open.
No, I just don't think the Tennessee Titans are going to have the weapons. That's my only problem.
I mean, but let me ask you, though. Let's be real for a second here. Tennessee does not have that bad of an offense in terms of weapons. Cam Ward, and listen, I'm shooting high on Cam Ward. I think he's going to be really good. And you know what? Maybe it doesn't go as planned, as well as I thought it might. Tony Pollard's still solid. I know Tajay Spears put on the IR, so he's going to miss the first month. Calvin Ridley, I expect a big year from him. Tyler Lockett, not the Tyler Lockett of old, but I still think he's going to be a playmaker. Van Jefferson, streaky.
Their whole team is old, except for their whole receiver core is old.
Well, yeah, but their defense, I don't think is going to be that bad. I mean, they still got a front seven. They still got a dog in Jeffrey Simmons. And I mean, dude, listen, you look at their schedule, it's not awful. I mean, at Denver, week one's a tough one. That's a tough place. I mean, I think Denver realistically could blow them out in that game. Home to LA, home to Indy, at Houston, at Zona, at Vegas, home to New England, at Indy versus the Chargers. I mean, it's not brutal. Like towards the end of the year, you have to go to San Francisco, come home and play Kansas City. I don't know, though, dude. I mean, it could definitely go better as expected. But in my opinion, though, I'm either taking Houston plus 110 or I'm taking the Titans. I'm not taking the Jags. I'm not taking the Colts. Listen, if it works out for Jacksonville and Lawrence has that jump if he has that jump that, kind of revive Baker's career, so be it. I don't know if their defense is going to be as good. Indianapolis, it's a mess. The quarterback situation. I don't think it's bad to take Houston though.
No, and I'm not betting on Houston, right? I just I don't like the plus 110, but I just couldn't quite get there on the plus 260. It was an instant fade of me for the Colts, and then the Titans are their own story. For me personally, I think the wide receiver core is too old. And defense, I think 20th in defensive EPA, which is not good enough for me.
Houston at the Rams week one, home to Tampa, at Jags, home to Titans, at Baltimore, bye at Seattle, home to San Francisco, home to Denver. And then, by the way, they still have to play Buffalo later in the year, and they have to go to Kansas City in early December. So, it's no picnic. There's some very losable games early on. So, I'm not jumping in to bet this market because I think there's going to be a lot of volatility and a lot of movement throughout the year.
Yeah.
All right. AFC West. Kansas City minus 105, Denver plus 290, Chargers 3-1, and the Raiders all the way at the bottom, north of 10-1. You think the Chiefs get it done here damn near even money, or is
I
there a
don't.
challenger?
I don't. I think the Chiefs have been such a well-run, well-coached organization and team where they've been able to withstand like all kinds of issues, right? Like injuries, trading away players. Like this is a team that lost their starting running back, went out, grabbed Kareem Hunt, and didn't miss a freaking beat. Right now, Rashee Rice gets the 6-game suspension. On the other hand, you have the Denver Broncos team who now they have another season with Bo Nix and Sean Payton together. They have an elite defense. Looks like their running game is starting to improve. J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey. I like the Denver Broncos at plus 290.
Funny you say that because I tend to agree, and I don't listen. I don't want to be the guy that's like going against Mahomes because every
Yeah,
year this happens. It's like,
every
hey,
year, bro.
we got a good number. Denver showed a lot of fight. It's going to be another step. I mean, you look at their schedule; it's really winnable. I mean, home to Tennessee, week 1, at Indy, at the Chargers, home to the Bengals, at Philly, a game they probably lose, against the Jets overseas. Home to the Giants, home to Dallas. That could reasonably be 6 wins in the first 8 weeks.
Yep.
Whereas, you look at Kansas City, they are in Brazil week 1 against the Chargers, which I can't stand. Is the dumbest shit in the world to go into Brazil. Home to Philly, at the Giants, home to Baltimore, at Jags, home to Detroit, home to Vegas, home to Washington, at Buffalo before their bye. Then they open up at Denver out of their bye. I mean, 290. It's a play to make, dude. That's my
Yeah.
opinion. I think this is definitely a play to make. So I would probably be looking at that.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't sound crazy to think that the Broncos could start 6-1 or 5-2, and then you're really talking.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely something that's of interest for sure. Let's flip over here to the NFC East. Eagles minus 130, Commies 220, Cowboys 5-1, Giants 20-1. You think the Commanders follow up last year, or is it the Eagles again?
The Commanders were an interesting interesting use case of teams that can improve when they get a defensive minded coach. They were like 23rd in EPA per play on defense in 2023 and then progressed. I mean, they're still 17th last season, but 6-team progression is really high in one season when you're running a new system with a new coach there. I think they can improve. Eagles have a tough schedule. My problem is when teams generally win the Super Bowl, like they have this feeling that our goal is just to make it back, right? Like it happens in every sport where the regular season is not entirely as important as getting through the season healthy in the playoffs and making a Super Bowl run. 29th is their strength of schedule. But let's just put it like this is how much better Las Vegas thinks the Eagles are than the Commanders. They have a 2-game difference in their projected win totals. That's a massive number, especially with the hard schedule. So I lean the Eagles, but I'm really interested to see if this defense can take the next step because they've already started crawling. Now they need to start walking, and that's the defense of the Commanders.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, part of me thinks like Washington's gonna have a good year, but is there gonna be that regression in year 2?
Yeah,
And they just got rid of Brian Robinson, and I mean, listen, I know Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt's having a really good preseason, but what does their ground game look like?
no.
I mean,
Chris
Eckler,
Rodriguez, a 50-year-old Austin Eckler.
yeah, exactly. Like, what kind of ground game are they going to have? I mean, I honestly don't understand the trade of Brian Robinson at this juncture. I mean, I know you don't want to pay him, but you don't really have another option at this juncture as like a true workhorse running back,
Yeah,
guy that can handle 220 plus carries. I mean, maybe Krosky Merritt is, but
maybe.
it's a big question mark right now. But what I will say is I still think Philadelphia is probably going to end up winning this division here. But listen, I could see it being not by much. I could definitely see it being close. Like they're gonna have their hands full early on. They're
Yeah.
against Dallas, then at KC, home to LAR, at Tampa, home to Denver. Softens up. They got the Giants twice in 3 weeks. Sandwiched in between is Minnesota. Bye at Green Bay, home to Detroit, at Dallas, home to Chicago, at the Chargers, home to Vegas. And then the NFL's schedule makers did us a favor. I mean, they got at Washington in 16 and 18 with
Yep.
Buffalo at Buffalo in week 17. So it's definitely no gimme. But again, like this is, I think a lot of these divisions, you're better off waiting to see throughout the year, especially like
Yep.
injuries are going to happen. You're just going to see the flow. Like, dude, honestly, Washington's schedule to start is pretty good. Giants, Green Bay, Vegas, Atlanta, Chargers, Bears, Dallas, and then it tightens up Kansas City, Seattle, Detroit, Miami, bye. So I don't know, man. I mean, definitely not in a rush to bet it, but taking the Commanders early isn't a bad look because of what they have going on in their schedule.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, man. I just feel like if the Commanders like need Jaden Daniels to be special, but we'll see like more tape, that year 2 regression for really good rookies as quarterbacks. It's a real thing because they have a bunch of tape on you now. They spent all off season thinking about how to stop you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the other thing when you get tape. My DoorDash McDonald's arrived. Real
heck
just
yeah.
piece of shit I am. Just eating McDonald's right now. All right. NFC North, Lions 175, Pack 220, Vikes 280, Bears 550. I mean, dude, this is in a world I can see 4 teams win 10 games in this division.
Yeah.
I mean, it's reflective in the price. I mean, listen, dude, I think Green Bay is going to have a good year, but the schedule, in my opinion, it's really tough for Green Bay. They do
Very-
not have an easy schedule, and that matters. And
I don't
there's a
think.
lot of tough games for Green Bay. Almost to be honest with you, like I would rather probably take the shot, and it sounds nuts, but I would almost rather take the shot on Chicago, north of
Dude,
5-1.
I actually don't disagree at all because like Green Bay has a tough schedule. Dallas has a tough schedule. Bears have a tough schedule, right? All of these teams have really tough schedules. The biggest 2 problems for the Bears last season where it was quarterback play and then continuity with the quarterback with the wide receivers. Now you have another year of Caleb Williams. You bring in Ben Johnson, who should make this team a little bit more elite. They have a really good offensive line. Like with the Lions, we know this is a really good team, but they're losing 2 coordinators, and that offensive line has so many question marks. They get Hutch back on defense, which helps them a lot, but it's just like there's a reason why the Detroit Lions, who were one of the favorites from the Super Bowl last year, are plus 175 to win their division, whereas the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions, are minus 130 to win their division. And that's almost like a $1.50 price difference. I think this is going to be one of the most competitive divisions. It's going to be really exciting to watch.
Yeah, agree. I mean, Detroit, I think there's going to be a regression. It's very hard to lose not 1, but 2 big
this is a
time
college.
impact coordinators in the same year and just pick up like nothing happened. Lose Frank Ragnow as well. Detroit, Green Bay's got a tough schedule. Minnesota, a lot of question marks with JJ McCarthy. It's not exactly the same thing as Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold was a veteran at that point in his career. McCarthy is legit a rookie. But, listen, I think Minnesota is going to have a good year. Their defense is going to be really good. You got Jettas. Their schedule is honestly, it's tough in the second half as well. Like Chicago north of 5-1 is the biggest element of surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, if that happens, Ben Johnson probably wins Coach of the Year. But I think right now the only bet to make is Chicago 550. Is another one that's going to be like all of these teams beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And there's opportunity to get involved later in the year.
It's just going to be tough trusting Caleb Williams. But I mean, this dude was one of the highest rated quarterbacks in college football, right? Like get him with a good offensive coordinator, get things going, and who knows? You know what I mean?
NFC South, Tampa Bay -105, Atlanta 220, Panthers 4-1, Saints 13-1. This is Tampa for me, buddy. I love Atlanta. I love Michael Penix. They just do not have a defense. They never had a defense. They do not have pass rushers. It's just not in their DNA to have pass rushers. This is Tampa Bay. I know their schedule could be a little tough here, but I just think all the pieces are there, and they've proven they know how to win and they know how to get it done in tight moments. And even against really tough teams, they know how to play down to the last minute here.
Listen, I am on the Bucks as well. The Falcons also play indoors. Not good if you don't have good defense because it just puts too much pressure on your offense. You don't get any of the extra elements. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're close to as complete of a team as possible. Jalen McMillan ending on the IR is tough, but what's crazy is they have Emeka Buka come in, and then I was reading reports that Godwin will be as good to go as early as week 2. But for them bringing in Mbuga in the draft, Chris Godwin doesn't have to rush back, right? You don't need him right now. Maybe week 4, maybe week 5. Start easing him in. Panthers, I think they'll improve, but improving all the way to winning the division is tough. Saints, they're one of my picks to have the fewest wins. So that's what I feel about the Saints.
Yeah, I think this is Tampa's division. I really do. And listen, like fluke things happen all the time, but I like Tampa Bay here. All right, last division, NFC West. 49ers +155, Rams 210. We have Arizona. It's lost on the ticker here. Bear with me one moment. It's amateur hour. I realize that. So Arizona is +380. Seattle's 5-1. Similar in the NFC North here. San Francisco, man. I'm not buying it. Their defense is not what it was.
No.
Brock Purdy got paid. I thought it was the dumbest. It was the height of stupidity to pay this guy $50+ million a year. McCaffrey, like, if he stays healthy, sure, fine. I don't know if I'm going to bank on that. And then right now you have no receivers outside of Ricky Pearsall. Juwan Jennings is a question mark. Brandon Ayuk, he's going to be back, but we don't even know what full strength looks like for him.
Yeah.
George Kittle's in his early 30s. I don't know about San Francisco being the favorite here.
It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. Like
the Rams 210. Stafford, health all depends. I know Arizona's like a trendy pick right now. They're like that trendy pick. Too high variance for me. Could certainly see it. I'm in on Seattle, man. I don't know why Seattle's 5-1. Like I could be wrong, but I feel like Seattle saw what Sam Darnold did in Minnesota last year. Clint Kubiak, Mike McDonald, they're going to run a lot of the same type of formations and the same style of offense to a degree that saw Darnold have a career year. He's got weapons. Their defense, I think, will be pretty solid. I mean, I don't know why Seattle's 5-1. I'm not understanding that.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle's solid defense. Should have decent quarterback play. You know, I'm just still hung up on the 49ers being the favorite. I understand they have a super easy schedule. It's just, this is probably a division where I'm like, I'm okay with skipping because you think about it, right? Like if McCaffrey's healthy, he's worth an entire game and a half where he can just win on his excellence by himself. Then if you think of Stafford, if he's healthy, then I mean, that +200 just sounds beautiful. The list goes on with this division where I was kind of stuck on who I thought was going to win it.
Yeah, but I think it's one where you take the longer shot. Like, and Seattle's no pushover. Like that's the crazy thing.
Great home field advantage, probably the best home field advantage out of any of the 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it, to be honest. All right, Brad. Let's talk about the AFC winner. Who do you like to come out of the AFC?
I like
So
the Buffalo Bills to win the AFC. Their time's going to be coming here. Josh Allen's obviously playing at an MVP level. I'm really excited about the development of their wide receiver core. They bring in Joshua Palmer, but there's been rave reviews about Keon Coleman. This has been a team for quite some time that everything rests on the shoulders of Josh Allen, right? If they can just get past that, where it's not Josh Allen having to do anything, this offense improves leaps and bounds for an already good offense, right? I'm excited to see what this team does. I have them winning the AFC. They have to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, which they seem like they can never do. But yeah, this is my AFC winner.
It's kind of hard because really ask yourself, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, maybe is there a dark horse? I mean, you kind of have to play the matchup. Do you think Denver beats the Ravens in a playoff game? Probably not.
No.
Do you think Denver beats Buffalo in a playoff game? Maybe,
No.
but I'd probably
I don't
say
think
no.
so.
Obviously, we know Ravens, Bills, Chiefs. Bengals could beat any of these teams in the playoffs,
Yeah.
but can they get there?
Can they get there? Can they defend well enough? Can they keep Joe Burrow upright enough?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I mean, it really comes down to these three teams. It's nuts because
Yeah.
the Chargers. I just don't think the Chargers have enough juice. I feel like the Chargers, they're a team that I had a lot more hope on a few years ago.
I'm not a Herbert believer. Like, I'm not a Herbert truther. I know they're going to run the crap out of the ball, but
I'm a truther. It's not a Herbert thing. It's just an overall team thing.
fair.
Houston. I don't believe in Houston. I don't think they get over the hump with those teams. Steelers no, Jags no, Pats no, Colts no. Like anywhere down the list you look, I think the only other team that would be able to do it would be Cincinnati if they could get in. Because once you get in with the playoffs, it's a different ball game. I mean, Chiefs north of 4-1. They're still the Chiefs, dude, to win the AFC. Like the other two teams haven't proven they can do it yet.
Patrick Mahomes is on the other side of that field.
And they got Rice back. I mean, I'm still going Kansas City. I mean, it's boring. It's not contrarian. I get it, but this is just I don't see the only team that I would really be worried about to beat Kansas City in the postseason if they got there is Cincinnati, because that has been the one team in the last few years that has proven that they have no problem playing with the Chiefs, and like they could have won a couple of those games in the playoffs, but clearly like they didn't want Mahomes to lose. That's the bad matchup for the Chiefs is Cincinnati, but until that happens, I think Kansas City plus 420 is where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. I just believe in the Bills this year until Josh Allen has to outduel Patrick Mahomes, and once again, Patrick Mahomes outduels him.
I guess we'll see. What about the NFC?
NFC, man. This is where I took a little bit of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We're sharing a brain right now.
Yeah, I just think their price is too big. This could be the most complete Tampa Bay Buccaneers team we've seen in a while. And when I mean complete, that Tom Brady led Tampa Bay Buccaneers team was a good defense with literally Tom Brady, right? But I mean, the balance on this team from the running back position to the offensive line, which is a little dinged up, but admittedly to the wide receiver core. Then you go on the defensive side of the ball, D line, linebacker, corners should be improved. It's a complete team for 12-1. I think it'll all come down to coaching. But Todd Bowles, he's been there at the finish line, right? So 12-1 just seems really big to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tampa Bay 12-1 is too big for an offense with that many weapons, and you need your defense to be solid. You don't need a shutdown defense. Yep. This is an offense that can go against any one of these teams in the NFC and put up a 30 beat. And you just need your defense to be solid. I mean, look, if maybe Seattle has a turnaround year. I think it's a good price. I just don't know if I could see Darnold getting to a Super Bowl. That's a crazy notion. I feel like if it was going to happen, it would happen last year. I'm not trusting Darnold in playoffs.
Yeah, no.
Either. Atlanta, no defense, but I think Penix is a dog for sure. Chicago, Got to prove it to me before I bet them. Minnesota, kind of the same thing. The Rams, you can never count out. Like when they get in with Stafford, I mean, they were, they were very close to coming back on Philly in the snow on the road. Commanders, could happen. Green Bay's got a really tough schedule, and the way it's shaking out in their division, I don't know what the seeding looks like. 49ers, I'm not buying. Lions, I think are going to take a step back. I thought the Lions' chances last year, dude. Philadelphia could definitely run it back. I mean, realistically,
weren't the Eagles like 4.5 or 5.5 to 1? I bet them to win the division, to win the conference last year, and I got a much bigger than plus 370.
Yeah, maybe something like that, and obviously like shop around because that
no, I mean last season, not this offseason.
The only two bets to make, in my opinion, right now are preseason. We're talking the Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wouldn't be betting anybody else. What about Super Bowl, Brad? Who do you think is going to take this one home?
I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. Where I want it to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not the Eagles, the Bills. Well, I want it to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is Josh Allen's year. He got the MVP out of the way. Now he's going to get the Lombardi to add to his trophy case.
I hate to say it, but I think this might be a Tampa Bay Kansas City 2020 rematch. I think this might be a rematch. I mean, it's either going to be Philly and Kansas City again, or it's going to be Tampa Bay and Kansas City again. I mean, maybe Buffalo gets in. Buffalo and Baltimore just have not proven they can get over that hump yet. And listen, maybe the time's coming for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also something you look at a little bit closer to the,
it's just like the history of the Bills. Even it's moved into even this generation, our generation, where they get so close and they throw up on themselves. It's just time and time again, man.
So Brad, so we talked about the teams. Do you have anything in terms of like miss playoff or win total?
I have one.
What do you got?
Where is it? I have the Chicago Bears to make the playoffs at plus 194. I think this Bears team is going to be much improved. Great. We talked about a good offensive line, manageable schedule, bring in Ben Johnson to make this offense better. Defensively, they're about middle of the pack defensively, but you also remember there's a team that couldn't sustain drives. Your defense is out on the field a long time, and then there's another team that has a natural built-in home field advantage. So I like the Bears to make the playoffs.
I think Seattle to make the playoffs at 175 is interesting.
Okay.
Like I said, I think their defense is going to be good. I think they got a two-headed monster running attack with Kenny Walker in his contract year. Zach Charbonnet, Jackson Smith and Jigba set to take a big leap this year. Cooper Kupp. I mean, if Kupp could stay healthy and he's not operating as a 2021 Triple Crown winner, he's operating as a wide receiver too. I think Sam Darnold can take the reins here. I think 175 is a little steep. Like the NFC is wide open. The NFC is wide open. I like your Chicago look. You could even get them at Caesars at 195 right now to make the playoffs. I feel like there's, some of these other teams that you could look like, but really Seattle and Chicago are probably the two plus money teams that I probably would gravitate towards the most. Let me ask you, out of the big teams, who do you think out of the best teams is most likely to miss the playoffs?
Out of the best teams, most likely.
Yeah, we're talking about the top 6 teams in each conference.
Most likely to miss, probably the 49ers.
Yeah. 49ers 170 to miss. I think the Lions are interesting at plus 184. Like Kansas City, Philly, Ravens, Baltimore, Buffalo. I think they're all getting in, but really San Francisco and Detroit are interesting misses here. I think there's an opportunity for them to not get in. I think maybe it could be on a downhill slope there.
Yep.
So those are probably the two that I would like to maybe miss out. Anything on win totals? or no?
I didn't do any win totals this season. I think win totals
Or dumb?
Yeah, they're tough. NFL, they're tough. College football, I love them. NFL, they're really tough.
Well, I tell you what. Honestly, I don't like win totals because like I don't want to lay like 110 to win 100 or like 220 to win 200 or 330 to win 300.
Yeah,
Lock it up for an entire year. Like
you're gonna be sick when I told you I took Texas's win total at -175 and then rebet it at -190. Money's just gonna be sitting there for all year.
Yeah, it's gonna be sitting there until what? December?
December, January. Yeah.
It's nuts. The highest win total this year is 12.5 for Buffalo. I mean, is there, there's alt win totals you can take. I haven't really looked too far into those. I mean, Chicago's win total's 8.5, so projecting between 8.5, 9. You could get a 7.5 on FanDuel. I mean, anything along the lines of maybe an alt for Chicago at 10 wins, something like that.
It's just, yeah, I don't know, man.
Or Seattle at 10 wins.
That would be insane. Seattle will get 10 wins. What is that, plus 190? Could happen.
Dolly ripping tonight. My boy Chase Dollander absolutely dotting tonight. That's my seed. Big start down in Houston today. Big start. I'm not really a big win totals guy, dude. You know what I'm interested though? I can't find it anywhere. That's like a specialty market. If you guys have like seen it, let me know. First coach to get fired. I always love those markets. I wonder what Mike McDaniel is. I imagine he's got to be one of the front runners in that award.
Yeah, I think he is.
Do you know? Have you been able to find that? Have you seen that anywhere?
For coach of the year?
First coach to get fired.
Oh, dude. No, wait. Hold on. They don't have that market or the last team to get a win this year. They don't have those markets this year.
Interesting.
Which is something that I loved betting those.
Yeah.
And I know I bet them preseason because last year I took the Patriots. Who did I take first coach to get fired last year?
If you find it, let me know.
They don't. No, they don't have it. I didn't see it. I didn't see either of those markets this year.
It's interesting. But yeah. Anybody finds that, definitely let us know. But Brad, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you got some good info. Next week, we start the NFL, baby. We're going to be doing a full week 1 show next week. Make sure you lock in. Come get these winners with us. We're doing nothing but studying these week 1 lines and the movement over the next week. Make sure you tune in, and we look forward to seeing you 7 days from now. Brad, you're the absolute best, my friend. Thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, dude. Peace.